Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have a clip for you from Judge Cedric Simpson at the 14th District Court in Michigan. He has a defendant coming before him for probation violations. It appears as though he just cannot stop contacting his victim. I'm going to let you guys watch.
Court does call the case, People versus Jeffrey Ostermiller.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barroso on behalf of the people. Bridget Coons on behalf of Mr. Ostermiller. Mr. Ostermiller, state your name for the record.
Jeffrey Ostermiller.
Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Ostermiller is scheduled before the court today on a violation of probation. Mr. Ostermiller was arrested on February 24th, 2024 on a violation of the contact order. So the court is aware Mr. Ostermiller at that time did have no non-consensual contact with the victim in this case. There was an incident that took place at her home. She asked him to leave, and in the police report that I reviewed, Your Honor, it took him multiple minutes before he left the premises or left the house. He was in the garage when police arrived, and he was arrested due to the contact order. Mr. Ostermiller was in custody. He was arraigned. The magistrate then put in place a no bond with the victim in this case, and bond was set. Mr. Ostermiller posted bond on February 26th, and he was released. Since that time, Your Honor, I did receive documentation from the victim in this case where Mr. Ostermiller has continued to communicate with her, multiple communications via text, emails, Google Docs, and I have provided all documentation to the court.
Yes.
Given the continued violation of the contact order and the prior violations from Mr. Ostermiller in this case, probation is now asking that the court sentence Mr. Ostermiller to 93 days in jail, credit for 27 days that he's served on this case, and to serve the balance. But the court apply the bond that he posted recently, which was a $5,010%. That is in his name. I would ask that the court apply that without standing financial waive remaining terms, except other financial obligations, discharge him from probation without improvement.
Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Ostermiller does deny the allegations, and we would ask for this to be set up for a hearing. In the meantime, we'd ask that he be able to continue bond. He has completed some of the components through probation. I think that he is trying.
Oh, he's in Ann Arbor. Why doesn't he come down? We can do the hearing today.
I'm staying with my mother in Santa Cruz.
How far is that?
About an hour and a half.
I got time.
I have no transportation, Your Honor.
Well, you want me to send somebody to get you?
I'd prefer if there were any alternative, I would take it.
So you can come down, or we can come get you. Which would you prefer?
If you need me to come down, I can make every arrangement possible to try to come down.
And what I'll do is I'll adjourn this matter to 3 o'clock. Well, what time is it? 1:30. I'll adjourn this matter to 3:30. Court does call the case of the People versus Ostermiller.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barroso on behalf of the people.
Bridget Coons on behalf of Mr. Ostermiller. Oh. If you can state your name for the record.
Jeffrey Ostermiller.
All right. I think we went through on Zoom the violations that are alleged and the recommendation, but you may go ahead, Ms. Coons.
Your Honor, at this time, my client would like to admit to the violations, and we would be asking that the court depart from the recommendations for good cause. He is, as far as the no contact goes, we in no means mean to excuse it, but he received 7 texts before he replied to the victim in this case. Again, I'm not trying to mitigate it. He understands that that was against court order, but he felt that at that time it would have been okay to reply since she was texting him so much. As to everything else,
Well, which about the first incident then?
the consensual contact or
That turned into non-consensual contact.
So as far as that goes, Mr. Ostermiller, I think that there's an issue with the police report. Our focus is more so he admits to the text and calls. As to the consensual contact, he was told to leave. He was packing his bag. The police had arrived to the house.
Before I was told to leave.
Correct. Yeah. And then at that point, he was arrested. He is currently inside individual therapy. He goes once a week. He discusses issues like this, including his relationship. He even has an appointment today at 4 o'clock. He's currently in the domestic violence program. He's 12 classes down, has one that he's supposed to go to tonight as well. He completed the intensive outpatient program, finished that inside November. He's been compliant with the sober league currently.
5 days.
5 days.
5 days shy of my 6-month chip.
Yeah, 6 months sober. He goes to AA meetings daily and does have a sponsor with the 12 Coconuts Home Group. He does have a full-time job at Michigan Medicine and works inside the IT department. He has 2 upcoming huge projects with deadlines that he'd like to try to meet, as well as he's in the process of reconciling with his children. I do have 2 letters from Recovery Technology and Hagira Health Incorporated. He went to their programmings, and both of them said that he was doing well in them, and he was very much participated inside the activities. So we ask that he be allowed to continue with probation. And I think that he is apologetic about the scenario.
Anything from the people?
No, Your Honor, we ask that you follow the Ms. Valera's recommendation.
All right. Anything else from probation?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ostermiller, we've tried to work with you through this case, and the reports I get, and it's part of the problem is that rather than following what should be done, you always want to do things your own way, and allow you a little bit of latitude, and you just continue to not follow what they're asking you to do. I don't understand, after being arrested the first time, why even after 7, 10, 15, 20 texts, I don't even understand why you respond. I don't even get it.
I should have blocked the number. I should have done anything but contact her back. I should have. I take full responsibility for that. It was a lapse in judgment. It was a lesson learned that will never be repeated. Until the day that I die, I will never contact Ms. Mason, make any attempt to contact her, go to her place of residence or work, or anything. I want to be as far away from this woman in this relationship as possible.
Anything else you want to tell me, sir?
I made a big mistake. I made a big mistake this week. It is not a mistake that I will repeat ever.
I just don't understand. I'm going to waive all remaining terms except the financial obligations. I'll discharge the defendant from probation without improvement. The $500 bond that he applied will be applied to the fines and costs in this case. Sir, I'm done. I give people chances all the time. And I don't understand the arrest, get arraigned, then contact. It makes no sense to me. And I think it's because of the way that you try to do things through your probation, and that is try to do things your way. And if it hadn't been for Ms. Blair correcting you before it got to me, this day probably would have come long before now. But the way that this is going to be now is I'm going to order 93 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 27 that you served. I am going to order that the defendant is to serve the balance. Defendant is remanded.
He's making up excuses that, oh, I'm staying with my mother, like that makes a difference. And then I'm an hour and a half away. I'm too far away. And then, oh, well, I have no transportation. I have absolutely no way to get there. And when he gets offered a ride, which would be, in the back of a squad car, all of a sudden he finds a way to get to court. That's amazing how people can find a way. Anyway, yeah, I think he got what he deserved. He's been contacting his victim over and over and over. I mean, the last one was over 20 times. He's emailed or texted her. That's crazy. Anyway, he deserved that time in jail. You get what you get. Thank you guys for watching this clip, and I am going to put in the comments the link to the next one.